Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna. Greetings to all. It's Janmashtami, or call it as Shri Jayanti or Gokulashtami or Shri Krishna Jayanti. Is indeed the auspicious day when Lord Krishna took birth on this planet about 5200 years ago in Mathura, India. As we celebrate this day with great enthusiasm and devotion and full of energy, do you know Lord Krishna has 1008 names like Govind, Hari, Madhav, Mukund, Nandgopal, Radharaman, Shyam, Vasudev and so on. And he is believed to be the most powerful soul and the incarnations of Lord Vishnu. The Sanskrit word Janmashtami is made up of two words, Janma and Ashtami. The word Janma means birth and the word Ashtami means 8. Thus, Krishna Janmashtami is the celebration of Krishna's birth on the 8th day of the dark fortnight in the month of Bhadrapad around August and September as per English calendar. This festival is not just widely celebrated across India but also abroad. Krishna Janmashtami is a very important festival for all the Hindus, particularly Vaishnavism tradition of Hinduism, and the most people celebrate it with great devotion and reverence. Devotees of Lord Krishna see him as a symbol of divinity, love and religiousness. His life and teachings inspire devotees to lead a life based on dharma plus karma plus bhakti. Dharma, that is religiousness, karma, which is right action, and bhakti, that is right devotion. His bhakts are extremely enthusiastic on the auspicious day of Janmashtami. As we see, after Krishna's midnight hour birth, devotees at home and in temples have an idol of baby Krishna and its bath and clothes then placed in a cradle. Then the idol of Krishna is decorated with new sparkling clothes and mukut and other jewelry. Also, within the home temple as well as outside, Hindu temples outside are decorated with lights and flowers. The devotees then break their fast by sharing food, sweets. Women draw tiny footprints outside their house doors and kitchen, walking towards their house, a symbolism for Krishna's journey into their homes. Now to know his life history in short, based on the information about Krishna's life as noted in the Mahabharata, the Purans and Bhagavad Puran. Shri Krishna was born in Mathura in 3228 before Christ era. He was the 8th son of Devaki, his mother, and Vasudeva, his father. Unfortunately, Shri Krishna had to be born within a prison in Mathura, India, where his parents were constrained by his uncle King Kant. Thus, surrounding the time of his birth, pre-sedulation was rampant. Freedoms were being denied and it was a very struggling time. The reason for this situation was that during his mother Devaki's wedding, King Kans was warned by an Akashvani, had a celestial voice, that Devaki's 8th son would be the cause of his death. In an effort to defy this prophecy, Kans imprisoned his sister Devaki and her husband and promptly killed the first 6 of her newborn after the birth. Now it seems that the god's avatar coming to earth was pre-planned in the heaven, and coincidentally the guards responsible for keeping the watch over Devaki's cell fell asleep, and the cell doors were miraculously opened at that time of Krishna's birth. So, for the safe upbringing of their son, his imprisoned father Vasudeva decides to send the baby Krishna across the Yamuna river to his foster parents Yashoda, his caretaker mother, and Nandlal, his caretaker father, at a village Gokul. Here, infant Krishna miraculously eliminates Putna, the demoness who tried to kill him by giving poisonous milk. Then, as he grows, Balakrishna does many childlike activities like playing with bat and ball, hide and seek, and was raised as a cowherd in Gokul and became a skillful musician. In another incident, Balakrishna had to encounter with serpent Kalya Sheshnag. This venom was so poisonous that no living being could live near the bank of Yamuna river. So, Shri Krishna had a righteous fight in the river, and after winning, he stood on the serpent's head while holding his tail. Thereafter, he began to play the flute and started performing a cosmic dance. In another incident, when Shri Krishna was about 7 years old, he lifted Mount Govardhan with his left hand little finger like an umbrella and held it for 7 days to protect the Vrajvasis from the heavy rain born from the rain god Indra's anger, because Krishna insisted that instead of worshipping deity like Indra, they should worship nature like Mount Govardhan, that is truly responsible for their food and harvest. Ultimately, Indra surrendered at the miraculous power of Lord Krishna, but as he missed his 8 daily meals for 7 days, the villager, out of gratefulness and love, promised him to offer a feast of 56 items. Since then 56 food items known as Chappan Bhog became favorable to appease Krishna for the ages. Now, for humor not supposed to be disclosed, but it's already disclosed that at times Balkrishna and his friends would break pots to tease girls and do Ras Leela with those gopis, and also rob his favorite makhan from the pot from neighboring houses. Krishna's favorite girlfriend was Radha, with whom he spent his youth dancing and falling in love. Krishna's form words, divine leelas and actions immersed the gopis in bliss. Those were indeed as great playful musty days known as Braj Leela, and actually the entire Gokul village enjoyed with bliss. Then, at the age of 11 years, 6 months old, Shri Krishna returned to Mathura and killed devil Kans to restore his father to power, and that begins Mathura Leela. Here, another enemy, Jarasandha, vowed revenge against Krishna and attacked Mathura 17 times, but was always defeated by Shri Krishna and his half-brother Balram. Throughout Krishna's childhood and young adult life, Shri Balram was a constant companion for him in Vraj, Vrindavan, Mathura as well as Dwarika. While he was in Mathura, one of his relative Uddhav, who had great ego about his knowledge and was comparing it with that of Krishna, who was brought up as a cowherd in the village, challenged Krishna that he can educate Vraj gopis. Uddhav promptly went to the gopis and told them that they should not weep for Krishna and they should invest their energies in acquiring Brahmagyan. He tried his best to teach them great theoretical knowledge, but the gopis told them that they were in Krishna Samadhi with priceless value of direct experience all the time of the 3 yogas of meditation, wisdom and devotion. Ultimately, Uddhavji realized that Krishna's divine is a personal and a loving force that is accessible through devotion and subtle for all his devotees, before which his knowledge is little value. The underlying message being there is a path of devotion, the method of attaining God through love, that is the most powerful and irresistible of all the emotions. In other words, there is no power greater than love. Thereafter, when Shri Krishna was about 28 years, 4 months, he migrated from Mathura in the interest of peace to establish his kingdom at Dwarka, now in present state of Gujarat in India, and ruled for many years until he left his body. Shri Krishna conducted the administration of his kingdom from Dwarka while residing with his family in Bet Dwarika. He was married to Rukmani of Vidhabara kingdom. This marriage developed hatred between Shri Krishna and his cousin Shishupal, who insulted him 100 times. Thereafter, Shri Krishna used the Sudarshan Chakra to cut Shishupal upon his 101st crime. At another occasion, his childhood friends facing poverty came to meet them at his place in Dwarka. Shri Krishna pranced from his throne, leaving the royal court, and ran barefoot to meet his friend. When he saw Sudama in such a condition, he carried him to the palace, washed Sudama's feet with his hands, and also rewarded him with a lot of money and wealth so that he can come out of the curse of poverty. That's the value of true companionship and how friendship goes beyond one's financial or social status. Later, when he was 89 years and 8 months old, Lord Krishna played a key role in meditating a peace treaty between the Pandavas and Kauravas before the war. But since that was inevitable, he decided to not pick his weapon and accepted to be the charioteer and the guide of Pandav Prince Arjun, to whom he gave his spiritual counsel and moral support during the war of Mahabharata. Amidst this world war, he revealed the manual of life, that is Bhagavad Gita, that was not just for Arjun but for all the human beings facing challenges of life and trying to find a meaning and purpose in our actions. Just before the Kurukshetra war between Kaurav and Pandav, the main warrior Pandav, namely Arjun, suddenly struggles with moral and emotional issues and was mentally shattered. Such stressful conditions of insecure, prideful, confused, indecisiveness, etc. do happen to human beings. On this, Sri Krishna said to Arjun, "Give up this weakness of your heart, stand up and face your problems." He advised Arjun to adopt the path of Karma Yoga, that he should fight and invokes the concept of Dharma, sacred duty, which sustains the cosmic order. Thus, Sri Krishna is revered as the bestower of divine knowledge and a cornerstone of humankind's legacy of spiritual and moral wisdom. His blessings in the form of Bhagavad Gita gives practical guidance for navigating our life. It offers guidance on overcoming our self-doubt and fear by tapping into our inner strength while connecting with our true nature. It enlightens us to recognize the eternal soul within us, which is beyond birth and death, and to approach challenges with courage and conviction. Post Kurukshetra war won by Pandavas, Sri Krishna lived another 36 years but was accidentally killed by a hunter, Jara. The dying Krishna told Jara that in a compassionate voice, "It is not your fault. It was destined to happen. Don't be scared or sorry, as these are the ways of destiny." These were the great man's last words on earth, for Krishna knew the law of karma is universal. Lord Krishna's life has marked the passing of the Dwapar age and beginning of the Kali Yuga, which is also constrained as the current age, and his messages are for all the yugas. He has always been so pure and faultless in all the situations, whether as a child, a friend, a true lover, a teacher or a guide. So, to respect with devotion the great birth of Sri Krishna is celebrated as Janmashtami. People decorate their houses with flowers and light on this day. People chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. We find many staunch devotees who will keep a vigil into the night with bhakti bhav, devotional singing till midnight, that is the time of Krishna's birth, and keep upwas, that is fasting on Janmashtami. And they do reading and recitation of a religious text, singing devotional songs of love of Hare Krishna, as well as dancing in rhythm with devotion. Another major fundraising this event that takes place during the festival is Dahi Handi. It involves nearby communities hanging an earthen pot filled with dahi, that is yogurt or butter, or other milk delicacy at a convenient or tall height. To enjoy Janmashtami's festival, young men and boys form teams, make a human pyramid with attached a human ladder climbing on top of each other. Ultimately, the top guy has to put a hole or break the pot in such that the dahi makhan spills and comes out. As they do so, people surround them, sing, play music and cheer them on, and all enjoy that as a prasad with lots of laughter and fun. This is how the fun musty days of Sri Krishna and his childhood are remembered, where the devotion and fun go together. In his childhood, Lord Krishna was named as Makhan Chor. Janmashtami is celebrated in diverse forms depending upon the regional and cultural customs. In many parts of India, we will find communities organize dance drama events called Ras Leela or Krishna Leela. The festival is most special in Mathura, Vrindavan, Gokul and Dwarka, where the whole life of Shri Krishna revolves. The Ras Leela shows take place in many temples for which a large number of devotees visit the temples. Places like the ISKCON temple in Delhi and Vrindavan Prem Mandir in the Vrindavan, Srinathji temple in Rajasthan, Jagannath temple in Odisha and Govind Dev Ji temple in Jaipur are decorated well where a large crowd gathers on the occasion of Krishna Janmashtami. Now to discuss the significance of Shri Krishna in our lives today, he signifies Paramanand, that is pure happiness or bliss. Lord Krishna's teaching stress on focusing on your own journey instead of imitating anyone else. Everyone's journey is different and you should devote yourself to your own life path, even though it is filled with imperfections and setbacks. During the great battle of Mahabharata, Lord Krishna taught Arjun not to be inactive but to perform his prescribed duty without being attached to the result. One who is attached to the result of his work is also the cause of the action. Thus, he is the enjoyer or the sufferer of the result of such action, Krishna had stated. I tried to correct some of the jewels of teachings of Shri Krishna in a nutshell. He said, you have the right to perform your prescribed duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your actions. Change is the law of the universe. You can be a millionaire or a propaneer in an instant. While emphasizing the significance of mindfulness and self-awareness in the midst of the war, Krishna stated, a person can rise through his efforts of his own mind or draw himself down in the same manner, because each person is his own enemy or own friend. To manage emotions, he said, from anger rises delusion, from delusion confused memory, from confused memory the ruin of reason, from the ruin of reason man finally perishes. To understand the essence of true sacrifice, he said, whatever you do, make it an offering to me. The food you eat, the sacrifices you make, the help you give, even your suffering. To understand the power of humility, he said, a person who is not disturbed by the intense flow of desires can alone achieve peace, and not the person who does not have desires. To value every task, it's better to live your own destiny imperfectly than to live an imitation of somebody else's life with perfection. On courage, he said, fear not what is not real, never was and never will be. What is real always was and cannot be destroyed. You should believe in your action. He said, whatever is done without faith, whether it's sacrifice, charity, austerity or any other act, is useless. It has no value here or hereafter. You did not bring anything. Whatever you have, you received from here. Whatever you have given, you have given it only here. Whatever you took from God. Whatever you gave it to Him. You came empty-handed and you will leave empty-handed. Shri Krishna also said, whatever happened in the past, it happened for the good. Whatever is happening is happening for the good. Whatever shall happen in the future shall happen for the good only. Do not weep for the past. Do not worry for the future. Concentrate on your present now life. Lord Krishna also revealed a life secret that soul is neither born nor does it die. For the soul there is never birth nor death, nor having once been does he is ever created to be. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, undying and premortal. He is not slain when the body is slain.
Friends, these are only a few selective timeless principles and preachings from the Bhagavad Gita for life success. The Bhagavad Gita is not just a spiritual guide, It's a timeless manual for life and leadership. Let me narrate a few of my favorite gems herein. 1. Focus on your duty and not the results. You have the right to perform your duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your actions. 2. Embrace change and adaptability. Change is the law of the universe. You can be a millionaire and a propanier in an instant. 3. Cultivate a balanced mind. Yoga is a journey of the self, through the self, to the self. 4. Lead with integrity and ethics. When meditation is mastered, the mind is unwavering like a flame of a lamp in a windless place. 5. Find purpose and passion. It is better to live your own destiny imperfectly than to live an imitation of somebody else's life with perfection. On this note, let's reflect and implement. These principles are not just for spiritual growth, they are a practical wisdom. Reflect on his teachings and see how they can transform your approach to be successful with peace in your life. So, let's connect with Krishna on a super level mind. With this, so I close this presentation by reciting a Sanskrit shloka from Bhagavad Gita. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharatam abhrusthayam adharmasya tadatmanam sajamaham paritrayaya sadhunam vinashaya ch dushkritam dharma sansthapanāthāya sambhavami yuge yuge. Meaning of this slok: whenever at all time and whenever there is a decline in religious practice, at that time God will descend to all. Stay blessed. Hari Om. Jai Shri Krishna.